Alright YouTube, so today, and as many of you know, I am a libertarian. I am going to but make a rebuttal against a libertarian candidate. And also, even if you aren't libertarian but are kind of interested in the issues, Fox News will be playing the first ever televised libertarian debate, and that will be on April 1st, 2016. The person I'm making a rebuttal against is Austin Petersen. And it's not Petersen like you would think it's spelled. It's Petersen, Peter is still the same, but the son part, it's not S-O-N, but S-E-N. So that is P-E-T-E-R-S-E-N. And you can go look up his Facebook page, and there is a video called Don't Kill the Babies. That is the video I am making a rebuttal against. And I think maybe this might mean something more to the person, considering that I used to be pro-life. I used to be very pro-life. I used to be pro-life to the extent to, even if the woman got raped, and I am sorry about the stink bug flying around, if a woman got raped, if a woman was going to die, I was still against abortion, because I used this emotional argument that, wow, you could be snuffing the next president, the next, billionaire, a doctor. But all that aside, I'm going to now, as a pro-lifer, try to make a rebuttal against his video. I tried downloading his video, but it just kept failing on me. My website that I usually download clips from, it's not letting me download this one video that I really wanted to download. I don't know if it's because it was a live stream. If you are aware, Facebook started allowing live streaming, so I'm not sure. But I made a checklist here. You can go see the video for yourself. I'm really only concerning myself with the first half of it because the rest of it's just announcements. The first point I wanted to bring up, he says that he's against abortion because he believes that abortion is the removal of an individual's life, freedom, and pursuit of happiness. My problem with this is that he doesn't make any caveats, he doesn't make any, specifications on what he means by abortion. He just says flat across the board abortion. Now, I don't know, maybe deep down inside he says, well, if a woman's raped, if a woman's going to die as a result of this birth, no. But I think maybe he's just kind of saying this broadly because a point I will bring up later. He's trying to get a specific group to vote libertarian. That's what I'm getting at, but this is also a removal of the woman's, freedom, life, pursuit of happiness. Libertarians are supposed to be individualistic, and I believe that outlawing abortions and he doesn't necessarily mean, he says he's not federally against it, he's morally against it, whatever that means. But to me, that opens the door to outlawing abortion, and then we're back at square one with back alley abortions, possibly going sterile because of that, taking trips to Canada to get abortions, or, let's not forget about the obvious Fourth Amendment, your right to privacy violation right there. He believes that him being pro-choice is what will bring in the moralist conservatives to the Libertarian Party. And he goes on to say, people, what it seems to me that he's supporting, or what he wants people to support him, a group of people he wants to support him, is people, moralist evangelocons, people who would probably vote Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio, who will not, in turn, give soft support to Donald Trump. The less partisan ones. So he's trying to bring in that group. But the thing is, this isn't the Evangelocon party. This isn't the Christian Conservative Party. Mr. Petersen, this is the Libertarian Party. Why would we want Evangelocons in the Libertarian Party? The single-handedly, the moralist crowd that totally destroyed the GOP and ruined its legitimacy, made it this quasi-religious, statist party that everybody likes to poke with sticks now. Rightfully so. But why would you want to now bring in that crowd to the Libertarian Party? And I don't know why. He brings up Steven Crowder. If you're aware of Steven Crowder, he's kind of an arrogant asshole who is a conservative-esque, I forgot the word. I can't remember the word. Activist. Conservative activist. And he brings up that Steven Crowder wishes he could vote for Gary Johnson, but couldn't because he is quote-unquote pro-baby killing. Once again, I don't know why you're bringing in a conservative into this, into your message. I don't want Steven Crowder being libertarian because he's not libertarian. Being pro-choice, or being pro-life, in my opinion, is not libertarian. I don't really care what one single person says. I don't really care about his small fan base. That's like me saying, I really wish I could vote for Bernie Sanders, but I can't. Who the hell's gonna listen to me? I barely pull in 90 subscribers on YouTube. I'm getting, less than 20 views a video. It's basically the same thing. I mean, what would be a speck of dust in terms of politics, I'm like a speck of dust. He's not much more. But I don't really care about Steven Crowder. I don't think libertarians really care about Steven Crowder or the people who follow him. We're talking about a guy who tries to piss off people he disagrees with politically in public to the point where he can try to beat the shit out of them. Because he is trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he was once upon a time, and I believe he still may do this to some extent, he went to a protest, tried to piss off an old man that he knew he could beat the shit out of, and still tried, and I think landed a few punches on the guy. I don't want that type of stuff being plastered with some sort of libertarian stamp of approval on it. That's just something I would like to avoid. I don't get this next point. Oh, never mind. That's the next point after this one. He believes that just because Gary Johnson is not pro-life, he will not drag in the magical 5% we need to start receiving federal funding. I don't really think him... I would like to think some people... Like I say, I usually say, if I don't agree with a candidate on more than 70% of the things he says, I do not support him. Or her. But I don't think if someone's like, yeah, I really like everything he brings up, oh my gosh, I'm pro-life and he's pro-choice, that's really going to stop a reasonable voter. It's not going to stop a reasonable voter from voting Gary Johnson in November 2016. He claims that he would bring a coalition, but again, you're only saying you're bringing in these crazy moralist evangelocons. I mean, I would think these same pro-life people would be against you on the issue of ending the drug war, legalizing most substances, which, yes, I am in favor of. Portugal's done it. More than 15 years ago they did it. People thought it would be some chaotic anarchist state by now, but it's not. Now I know you don't hear a lot about Portugal, but I would think that, you know, they are not sinking to oblivion. And they aren't. They aren't. Anyways, he says Gary Johnson's in debt and he doesn't even try to bring a coalition. Maybe that's because Gary Johnson's platform isn't trying to bring in a massive crowd. Now, I appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Petersen. I do think, yeah, maybe we should start voicing our opinion more. But then again, I say, if you're not truly libertarian, why are you sticking your neck in the Libertarian Party? I don't get the whole why we should have Evangelo Cons running wild in the Libertarian Party. He believes that a better alternative would be to have birth control over the counter, so that it would stop abortions indefinitely. I could see what you mean by this, but I still believe abortions should be legal, rather. Not illegal, but legal, across the board. Because it's really none of my business, for one. It's none of your business, for two. I do appreciate that he isn't... He says explicitly he doesn't believe that bringing more government into this would help. And I do agree with him on that. But I don't think that should stop abortions, you know, from being legal. Or, you know, I do agree with this, yes. Have birth control over the counter. But I don't believe in, you know, anything to stop abortions. If someone needs to have an abortion, that's their business, you know. We don't know what this person's going through. Like, you know, libertarians, the LP, you know, individualism. That person is probably, I would like to think, not really happy having to do this in the first place. But secondly, we have to take into account, what if this person couldn't even keep up finances for this child? I would like to think, I am honestly believing here that people who are pro-life are only pro-life, and this is what George Carlin said, before they're born and when they're 18. That's the only time a pro-life, moralist Republican is going to care about someone. But his last point, it seems, and I think he was trying to make this a little zinger, a stinger remark that was trying to be an ear catcher. He basically says, killing a pregnant woman lands you with a double homicide charge. And says, you know, why isn't abortion considered a homicide? And you're like, yeah, that does, you know, at first, listen, that does sound like a zinger. But then you kind of dissect this. It really falls flat on its face, because killing a pregnant woman, you don't know what that woman's intention was with that baby she was carrying. You don't know if tomorrow she was going to go into an abortion clinic. You don't know if she was planning to be a dedicated mother. But with an abortion, that is the woman's choice. You see, murdering a woman that is pregnant is removing the choice completely from her. And the abortion itself, that woman is not dying herself and also has the choice whether or not to give birth or get rid of this fetus. Now, that's about it, YouTube. Peace out.